Hi, my name is Lisa Scumpiero, and I teach in Hagerstown, Maryland at North Hagerstown High School. I am making this video for new teachers that may have missed my first Google training in October. That was a busy time as well for you. You were just getting your foot in the door. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you a few things that I would like to share with you that you could be doing in your classroom. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to present this. So this is essentially for ELA teachers, but it could be for anybody. If you go to the URL that's here, you will see that I have something down here in the corner hidden. It is happy music, and it is supposed to be playing as soon as I start my slide. That is something I'm going to show you guys how to do today. That was just something that I did to show the teachers that if you want to have music playing while you present something, you may. I did a four corners activity last week, and I actually had on each statement that I had projected up on the Google slide, I did have a little bit of Christmas music playing for each slide while they talked and got to their corners. And then after they had discussed, I stopped the Christmas music, and then they actually had time to talk. But what I found was by playing the music, they actually felt a little bit better about talking in their groups because not everybody could hear them. So that might be just a suggestion to do. So these were some updates that I went over in Google Classroom. These are updates that maybe you're aware of already because you've been dabbling with it. But you're now able to go and reorder your classes, which is a real big help. You can drag and drop them into any order that you want to. You can view one student's work on an entire page, which is nice. You just click on the student in your student tab. You're able to see everything that the student has done. We do that for IEP meetings and other things like that. You can also now use decimal grades for partial points. Like if you're doing a timed essay out of 4 points, you can give them a 2.5 to show that they're between a 2 and a 3 right now in their writing. You can display the class code full screen, and I can show you that real quick so that you guys can see that. So if I go into one of my Google Classrooms, you are able to now show them your display. What I do is, like, I'm going to get a new student today. I would go into students. I would go here and hit display, and then I would just hold up my MacBook and show them what my class code is. The students would then just be able to be invited, and they could do that. You can also transfer ownership to another teacher, which is nice. If I were a teacher and I was going to go on maternity leave or something of that sort, I would be able to transfer it and have the other teacher also be able to enter stuff, to take stuff out. You just have to be collaborating with that person. Last year I had a student teacher. That would have been nice if we would have had that option. And then you can search for G Suite apps within the actual Google Classroom. So if I'm in Google Classroom and I want to go to any G Suite, I just go up here now and I can get into anything that I want to. So again, some of the updates seem like small, but they are very big. If you see, I'm able to go into one student. I get to see all of the work that she's done. I can see her attachments and how many attachments she has in there. Some of them they didn't turn in per se because they were things informative or other places. But again, you could use this for a parent-teacher conference. You could just use this to see where the student is and just have a nice snapshot of them. And again, if you want to go into the about, you want to invite another teacher, you can then invite teachers here. And then you can decide when you invite them, do you want them to make them the class owner or not? Or do you want to remove them from the class? So that's sort of nice too. And if they're the class owner, then they have ownership over it. until they switch you back to being owner. So that would be nice if you're trying to give the class over for just a little bit to someone. So those were the big updates in Google Classroom that happened in the fall. And I also made a couple videos. If you got the URL at the beginning of the video, you can look how to reuse a post. This is very nice if you are going to teach the same thing the following year. You won't be having to do the entire post over. You could reuse the post, and then you could edit the post to make it more relevant for that year. Also, I do number my assignments. I started with 001. I'm on 038 right now, and it's December 12th. So I am able to tell the kids, this is the number we're on today. Go into your stream, find the number, and then also put the number in Synergy into my gradebook so that they correspond. And then I also made a video on how to know the difference between stream and about. In the About section in Google Classroom, I put my syllabus. I put anything that deals with units. I have a great deal of things that I put in there. And then also I went and put how to archive your classes at the end of the year. I was fortunate. I was talking about a student yesterday with a teacher that she has now that I had last year. And we decided to like maybe look back at his work from last year. And I was able to go into Google Classroom, unarchive that class. And I was able to just hit student, find the work that I needed to show her, and then send it to her. So it was very nice that we had that feature. Also, I put a Google header idea down here. I had done this where I had the ability to do this with my students this year, and I'll just show you as an example, and then I'll make sure that link works correctly. Sometimes the best laid plans. So right here, if you look, this is the idea that I had. All my students came up with statements about like what it is to be like a learner or what to have in the classroom. And then we made our own collage, and that became our header for each class, and each class has their own collage. So it's sort of a nice little team building thing to do with kids. You could do it for the whole year. You could do it for each unit. You could do a lot of things with that. So it depends upon what you want to do, and I will fix that link. Also with Google Docs, you can now name your revision history. You don't have to actually make a copy of the work. And you could also get the Anyone Can View extension. If you do that, then you're able to click on this button right here. This is the Anyone Can View extension. And then when I click on it, you'll see permission changed to Anyone Can View. So that's really nice. And then if I would go into the doc, I would be able to see my revision history. You could do that here too in slides. And then you can name the version. Like I can name this version presentation for December 12th. And then if I do any changes, that version stays for me to go back and change. So again, if you're making a copy for other people to see, then I would make a copy. But if you just want to keep done and name them, like when you've done them, who you were working with, that would be nice. Also, if you want to turn a doc into a PDF, make sure that you open a new window. I could show you an example of that as well. This was something that Amy Hadder had shown me a couple of summers ago. I'll just search for a PDF here so that I can call one up real quick and I'll show you. So I have this Antigone PDF. If I wanted to share this with students, I wouldn't grab this URL up here, because if I do that, then students have access to my drive. So what I'll do is I'll go to open a new window, and then I'll grab this URL. To the URL, you're going to notice that it says view, and that is going to make sure that you cannot see, they can't see it, they can only see this. So the PDF will be the only thing that they will be able to see. So that's a common mistake that people make. but it's a mistake that you don't want to make because you don't want the kids to have access to all of your files in your drive. You could also make a forced copy if you are in a doc, and I'll just show you with that again, and I'm sorry. I am opening multiple tabs, but I'm going to try to keep them all streamlined here. So let's say I open a doc, and I'll look for a doc here. I'll just hit doc again. So if I'm looking for a doc, and a doc comes up here, I'm just going to click on it. And if I want to do a forced copy, what I'm going to do is when I get to the end of it, instead of edit, I'm going to take that URL and I'm going to call it copy. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it. So I'm going to copy it just so I can show you how it looks. And when you copy it, and then you go back into new URL and you hit copy and paste, you will actually have to click make a copy. So if you want to send it out, I do that whenever I'm sending things out to people maybe in different states, people that are not within our county. I'll do a forced copy just to be safe and know that I'm sending it the right way. So that is a way that you can do that. Okay. All right. And then the next thing is for Google Slides. Google Slides, I use a lot. You can add a YouTube video in Slides, and you can do many things with that. That's what I did at the very beginning. This is a slide that I'm showing you guys right now. And basically, within the slide, do is I am going to click out of there so you guys can see that. Sorry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did the little video here. So I went to insert and I went to video, and then I just typed in happy music, and I looked for that. I was just looking for something, you know, jovial and upbeat. Right now I could do Christmas music if I wanted to. I would choose the one that I wanted to. Here's some relaxing music for Christmas. I could select it. I could put it in there. And then I can make it smaller so that only I can see it. I make it about this small so that I can hit the pause button if I want to. If I'm playing it, like I said before, I was playing it until I felt the kids were ready. But you can also start and end it when you want to. So only if you want like a certain segment played, you can do that. You can also autoplay it when it's presenting. That's why it started whenever I hit present. And you can also mute the audio. So if you want the kids to just watch something and analyze it, but you don't want them to actually hear like the music or the voiceover or whatever, you'd be able to do that as well. So that is a nice option to have. Also, I did give you the ability to look at that later. You can also, these are some ELA ideas. You can assign a blank slide to students for infographics and work that could be accomplished in one slide. And then make sure everybody can edit. I did this the other day. Students were coming up with questions for Antigone. I each had them count off a number, and that was their slide, and that's where they put their questions. And then easily I could then grade them and see them all in one slide. Also for like a novel, if you're going to introduce, have students add a slide and introduce themselves as a character in their book, and then have students introduce themselves to new group members, that would be really nice to do. And this is a slide that would help you do that. I had Halloween at the time, but I'll make sure to put in some Christmas stuff. I just did one with students. I have 10th graders, but I still did how to build a snowman on Google Slides. It was just a little fun activity after a very hard timed essay that they could do if they had time, or they could do it at home. And many of the kids thought that it was cute and interesting. They did it and had fun. And then there's a scavenger hunt here, as well as choosing your own adventure, emoji reactions, and then a comic strip in Google Slides. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with them. I was trying to think of like a whole bunch of activities that would help people, not just in high school, but in elementary as well. And then I do have a HyperDot presentation here, what I told teachers, new teachers in October. was this is like a snow day type of thing. If you have time and you're sitting around with your hot chocolate, looking at the snow, you could look at this HyperDoc presentation. It is something that I created a couple years ago, but it does go over how to HyperDoc. I will make sure to link in here because I just did an interview not too long ago, back in October, with Vicki Davis, and I talked about HyperDocs, and that might help you also just understand what it is prior to looking at all the information I have here. So you're more than welcome to always check with me. And then another thing that's really cool is Google Keep. Google Keep helps you keep organized and do all kinds of things. I like it because I used to love Post-it notes. I had them all over the place. I had them all organized, what I had to do. I had home Post-it notes. I had school Post-it notes. And now I have Post-it notes in my Google Keep. And if you see, you can make up different labels over here on the left. And whenever you do that, it's towards the bottom. It says create new label. You can actually then have things like when we went to Virginia Beach, nothing's there now because what I did was I cleared everything out of Virginia Beach when we did it. But when we went to Virginia Beach, I actually had a Google Keep of everything, every place we were going to go and what the street numbers were, so that I knew exactly, what to look for. I didn't have to search for it down there. I sort of had done it ahead of time, because I knew it was going to be a little hectic, and it really helped us because every morning I just open it up and I'm like, why don't we try this? Or look what I bookmarked here. Let's go check that out. So it was just sort of nice. And what's really nice is you can also share it with other people. If they have a Google Keep, you can even make groups in here. You can have the kids. I had the students do Google Keep when we did a climate action project. They actually use Google Keep for their research notes. A lot of them liked it, and a lot of them I find use it for other things once I introduce it to them and have them use it. I also use it for whenever I'm on Twitter or I get an idea online. I put it in here so I don't forget about it. So whenever the last week I needed to get some Disney Pixar movies, and I was like, where are those movies that I saved? I had them all here. One I needed for when I was teaching lenses. I used the one-man band to teach feminism, Marxism, and psychoanalytical lenses. And so it was really nice because I was able to just find it real quick. I didn't have to go searching for another hour or so, and everything was organized for me. So Google Keep would be definitely a tip that I would say you would enjoy and use. You can use it on your phone. You can use it on your desktop, and you can use it on an iPad as well. So it's a really nice thing. Also, I put out some of the things I found in my Google Keep just because I thought, wow, these are things that I had found. So I found like a graphic organizers, and then a HyperDoc Padlet, another HyperDoc Padlet, using the Met Museum with GoFormative, Docs Teach, and a speech graphic organizer. So I was just like, pulling things real quick. This took me like 5 minutes to find stuff, but things that might help a new teacher in their first year of teaching. Also, I wanted to give a little bonus about Flipgrid. I've been using Flipgrid for about a year now, a year and a month, and I really enjoy it. I have students do a lot of projects on Flipgrid. We have been doing little diaries for Antigone on Flipgrid lately. I've been trying to utilize it, but we've also had a lot of things going on in class trying to get through the text before break. But I have an explanation here. I also have a guide to get you started that's very thorough that Carly Mora and Sean, I believe he pronounces his name Fari, came up with, and they're very nice. I do have a code here that you can use. You get 45 days free if you try it out with all the bells and whistles. You can always check it with me. But what's nice about Flipgrid, and I'll just show it to you guys real quick if you're not familiar with it, is when you get to Flipgrid, you sign in, and I might have to sign in, I'm sorry. You sign in, and when you get in, you have different things that you work on, and you make a grid, and then you have different topics. Sometimes I do it by period, and then I have them respond. And sometimes I do it with honors, sometimes I do it with on grade. It just depends, but it's really nice to hear them talk, to hear their responses, and to see what they have to say. So I like it. It's very nice. And another thing Flipgrid has is they have a discovery section now. And if you go to that discovery section, you can actually get different grids that have been made already that you can actually take and use. So that's always nice too, because you always are able to find something that you might be able to use from somebody else. And as a new teacher, the more that you can have in your bag of tricks, the better it is. And I would say, you know, keep that in mind. Now, I already did the second presentation. This is what I had in my second presentation. I'll make sure to put a link in there so you can find that one as well if you didn't see that one first. And then make sure that, you know, anytime you have questions, you can use this QR code. The QR code will get to me quickly. Actually, it's a Flipgrid, but it's moderated. So if you leave a message, it will not show after you've done it. It will say that I have to approve it, but I will get back to you. You know, just, you know, leave me in your information, your email address or contact information, whatever you want me to contact you by, and then I'll be able to contact you and work with you and see whatever you need. So again, this was just a brief overview of some of the main things you can do with Google. I'm a Google certified trainer, and I would encourage people that want to learn more about Google to go through Google Certified 1 and 2, or even become a trainer. Those are the 3 steps that you can do. And it's a really great process to do. You learn a lot. You're able to maneuver it, and it becomes, you know, if it's going to be part of your teaching career, it would be nice if you could learn those things. That I would be willing to work with you or help you whenever you get close to thinking about doing that, when you want to take the test, if you want me to give you any suggestions or tell you what the tests look like. But the more you work with Google, those tests will be so much more easier to take because you're utilizing it every day in the classroom. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And now I'm going to actually finish. I hit stop sharing, but I didn't stop the broadcast. So again, have a wonderful day. And I hope that I helped you in one way or another with some of what you do in the classroom every day.